Okay, let's dive in. You've shared a really interesting stack of sources with us today.
Yeah, quite a collection. Articles, reports, notes. Looks like it covers a lot of ground.
It really does. Crypto price moves, some network milestones, tech news, and even, well, a report connecting world events to market swings.
Mm-hmm. A snapshot of a busy landscape, all from the material you're keeping an eye on.
Exactly. And so our job here is to dig into these specific sources, the ones you provided, and just, pull out the most important bits.
The key insights, the surprising details, maybe, those aha moments.
Right. We want to help you get informed on this material pretty quickly.
Consider as your guides through the information you've gathered here.
Yeah, let's do it. So we've got reports on, let's see, a specific token crash, something about security worries, then another one breaking resistance.
Right, CMP, and a token surging before a listing.
Oh, yeah, skate. Plus that big Bitcoin block number being hit.
Block 900,000.
Then there's an analyst with a kind of surprising take on that Circle stock debut.
Despite the huge pop.
And a partnership in AI and fashion. And yeah, like you said, that report about a political interaction that one source says hit the markets hard.
Definitely a wide range.
Which is what makes these deep dives useful, right?
Hmm?
Seeing it all together. So where should we start? Maybe those crypto price points from your sources.
Sounds good. Okay, so one article zeroes in on Picoin, notes a recent 5% crash.
5%. Okay, maybe not massive in crypto terms, but the report links it directly to security issues, right? That seems key.
That's exactly the connection the source makes. It's not just the drop, it's the why. The report apparently mentions an analyst view,
Yeah.
questioning if these security worries could, push it down even more, specifically flags the possibility of a dip towards $0.40.
20 cents. Wow.
Mm.
Okay, so that source is really pointing to security as a potential driver for Picoin's price, maybe downwards.
According to that report, yes. It frames those concerns as a material factor some are watching.
Okay, so shifting gears then, there's a more positive story in your sources too, about Compound, CCOMP.
Yeah, the report on Compound is pretty much the opposite picture. It says Seacomare recently broke above a key resistance level.
Resistance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like a price ceiling it couldn't get past before.
Exactly. The source points out it had been kind of stuck below that level for a while.
And breaking through that coincided with a decent jump.
It did, yeah. The source highlights a, 14.7% jump? Pretty significant in just 24 hours after that breakout.
Okay.
So according to this report, getting past that resistance suggests, maybe some new momentum. And analysts are apparently now looking towards $61 as a potential next target.
61. Interesting. So one source flags security dragging a price, another shows a technical breakout potentially boosting one. Very different narratives from your material there.
Definitely.
What else stood out in the crypto space from these sources?
Well, there was that interesting mention of a token making waves even before it got listed properly. Skate token.
Ah, right. The report about its price surge ahead of the Binance listing. How big a surge did the source mention?
It said it soared, reportedly by 33%, just on the news of the listing.
33%, just based on the announcement.
Yeah. The report identifies Skate. It says it's an altcoin for a multi-VM blockchain setup.
Yeah.
Basically handles different operations at once. But the story, as the source presents it, is that immediate big price reaction just because Binance said they'd list it.
Wow.
Specifically on Binance Alpha and Binance Futures, the report noted.
That really shows you how much hype around a big exchange listing can move the needle, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Even before trading actually starts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, speaking of kind of core network stuff, your sources also flagged a big Bitcoin milestone.
Yes, a pretty historic one. Bitcoin reportedly hit block 900,000. Successfully mined.
900,000. That's a huge number for the network. Did the source give any specific details about that block?
It did, actually. The report noted that particular block, number 900,000, contained 1,562 transactions. And it also mentioned the average fee rate was apparently around 3 sat VB.
3 satoshis per virtual byte. And that's
Low, right.
generally.
Yeah, generally considered quite low, which, according to this data point in the source, suggests the network wasn't super congested right when that specific block was mined.
Interesting to get those granular details on a milestone block. Okay, let's pivot a little. Still connected, but more traditional market side. Circle. That report on its stock debut. Pretty eye-popping numbers.
Oh, absolutely. The source reports this incredible surge, over 168%. on its first day trading.
168%. I mean,
Yeah, that kind of performance, the report says, puts it right up there with some of the biggest tech debuts, especially for a company so tied into crypto and
we'd
stablecoins.
think that's just purely good news, a massive success.
Yeah.
But then one of the sources you included, I think it was the Crypto Times.
Mm-hmm.
The headline was something like, "Why not to buy Circle stock despite the 168% pop?" That feels like a direct counterpoint.
It absolutely is. The article acknowledges the huge surge, obviously, but then it completely shifts to present this analyst's contrarian view.
So the analyst is saying, hold off.
Essentially, yeah. The source's focus in that piece is relaying the reasoning behind why this analyst argues against buying the stock, even after that amazing opening day.
So it's a really good example from your sources of the market saying one thing, huge success, while an analyst offers a totally different, more cautious take.
Exactly. The source isn't just reporting the pop, it's deliberately adding that skeptical layer to give you, the reader, a more nuanced picture.
Right. Okay, interesting. Now, stepping away from direct market prices for a sec, one of your sources mentioned a specific tech partnership from June 5th, 2025.
That's right, yeah. The report details a collaboration. It's between Legendary Humanity and Hashkey Group's Aeon.
Okay, Legendary Humanity and Hashkey's Aeon. And what's the reported focus of their work together?
The source says their joint effort is all about advancing AI-driven digital fashion.
AI in digital fashion.
Okay. Yeah, it's presented as, a specific example of AI being applied in a creative industry like fashion, but focused on digital clothing, digital concepts.
Oh, interesting glimpse into AI spreading into different creative areas.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally, let's look at that source that tries to connect a specific political event with what happened in the markets.
Right. This report discusses an alleged altercation between President Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Happened on a Thursday evening, according to the source.
Altercation, okay.
Yeah.
And what did this source claim were the results of that interaction?
Well, the report states, and this is important, it's what the report states, that this alleged incident caused political unrest and reportedly sent markets into a bloodbath.
Wow, bloodbath. That's strong language from the source. Did it offer any more details?
It adds a bit about the aftermath, claiming that White House aides reportedly asked President Trump to tone down his interactions following whatever happened.
Okay, so just to be really clear, because this is sensitive stuff. According to this specific source you shared, this reported interaction between these two figures is presented as having these direct, tangible effects: political instability, negative market reaction,
Correct.
and even leading to reported internal discussions about managing behavior.
Yeah.
The source presents it as a direct cause and effect.
Precisely. That's the narrative put forward in that report. It frames that specific alleged political interaction as having these immediate significant consequences filtering through to politics and finance.
Okay. Wow. We've really covered a huge amount of ground there just from the sources you brought to us today.
We really did. We went from, the specifics of Picoin's reported 5% crash and that potential $40 dip linked to security,
Yeah.
all the way to compound breaking resistance, maybe eyeing $61 after that 14.7% jump. The state tokens reported 33% surge just on the Binance news.
Right. And those precise details from Bitcoin hitting block 900,000, the transaction count, the low fee.
Then the analysts' hold on a minute view on Circle stock, despite that huge 168% debut pop.
That June 5th partnership, Legendary Humanity and Hashkey's Aeon in AI digital fashion.
And wrapping up with that report, alleging an interaction between President Trump and Elon Musk caused political unrest and market impact, plus the claim about aides asking Trump to tone it down.
We pulled all of that straight from the material you shared with us, and the whole idea was just to distill these points, give you that shortcut to understanding what's being reported across this landscape.
Exactly, and treating the content impartially, just relaying what was presented in the sources you provided.
Precisely. So as you think about this deep dive using the sources you shared today, maybe consider this. Think about how quickly all these different kinds of news items popped up together in the information you're tracking. Specific crypto prices, network tech details, AI and fashion, even reports tying political interactions directly to market movements. Maybe all on the same day. What does that tell you about how interconnected everything's becoming? The information flows, the markets you're following. Just something to mull over until our next deep dive.